Welcome back to Morning Coffee, everybody. Thank you for joining me here on the RadioVision Network. It is Monday morning, and it's time to catch up on the weekend in sports with our resident sports expert. His name is Neil Viapiano, and you can check him out every Saturday right here on the RadioVision Network, the MVP Show. Good morning, Neil. Welcome to Morning Coffee once again.
Morning, Mark. How are you?
I'm doing well. Well, I'm doing okay. I don't want to get too far ahead. I mean, look, I know first off, right off the bat here, we got to talk about the NFC East. Last night, the showdown between the Giants and the Cowboys. It was a messy football game. It was tough to watch, but the Giants came out victorious, a 10-7 victory. How is this shaping up in the NFC East, Neil?
Well, like you said, it was definitely a very ugly game. I watched it from the beginning to the end. And the Giants' offense, this was one of their least impressive performances of the season. But, you got to give a lot of credit to that Giants defense for really, keeping them in the game as they've normally been doing throughout this entire season. And what this shapes up to be is that you have to understand is that the Cowboys still have a 2-game lead in the NFC East. And the Giants know that they virtually have to win the rest of their games and hope the Cowboys lose the rest of their games just for the Giants to win the division. But I think that, the Giants are still going to be a wild card team. But, we'll have to wait and see. Anything can happen.
Yeah, it's kind of, I was trying to figure out, did it really matter? Right, because the Cowboys now have 2 losses. They've already clinched their playoff spot. So really, it's wild card positioning. This doesn't really necessarily mean that the Giants can come back and win the division, right? This is only for wild card setup.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. I think that, the Cowboys have built too big of a lead for the Giants to come back from. But still, that type of win gives you a lot of momentum as you're trying to build to getting into the playoffs and hopefully getting an opportunity to make a run at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, those Giants that all they have to do is get in the playoffs, and they normally make a little bit of noise, which is frustrating to me as an Eagles fan. Let's get back down there to Lincoln Financial Field where the Redskins came in and played the Eagles yesterday. Now it was a pretty hard fought back and forth type football game where the Redskins came out victorious in the end. Eagles looked like they had a shot. Tobin gets blown up on the line there. He gets breezed right by. Dude hits Wentz. Wentz fumbles. Game over. Redskins beat the Eagles for the 5th straight time. It was tough to watch because Neil, honestly, at the end of that game, I thought the Eagles let the Redskins score on purpose so that there would be enough time for the Eagles to go down and try to score. They were on their way. Man, they were so close. And then the fumble. How do you see this Redskins team? Are they really any good? I don't know. I can't tell.
I think they are relatively good. I talked about it a few weeks ago. They have a relatively good offense. I mean, to be honest, better than the Giants' offense. Kirk Cousins has really developed into that guy that the Redskins have been looking for at the quarterback position. And I think the Redskins' playoff hopes are alive and well. They were able to pull out that victory yesterday. To be honest with you, I thought the Eagles were going to go down and win this game, the Redskins, but they somehow were able to come away with the victory. And, you just look at that whole team that the Redskins have. They seem, in their case, they're kind of like the Kansas City Chiefs in a way. They seem to find ways to pull out victories. And I think that, it should be interesting in the next, 3-4 games to go in the season, just how far this team will actually go.
Yeah, dude, you talk about the Chiefs. The Chiefs, what the heck? The Chiefs, you know what? The Chiefs aren't going to make any noise. They're the Chiefs. How the hell do they keep winning games? Andy Reid, this guy's ridiculous. I can't even believe it. Don't get me started on the Chiefs. I want to talk about one other NFL game this weekend, Neil. That was the Green Bay Seattle game. This was like a prime matchup for the NFC. I mean, I know that the Packers, they haven't been as good, and the Seattle was coming off a loss, but man, Russell Wilson, this was his worst game ever. And the Green Bay Packers come out and win that was a very much needed game for them.
Yeah, losing 38-10 is pretty crazy. I mean, in the first half it was relatively close, but then the Packers in the second half just came out, like a house on fire, really lit it up. And I've never seen Russell Wilson have this little amount of success in a game, and he really looked bad. And that all of a sudden is now starting to make people believe maybe the Seahawks aren't the team that's going to knock off the Cowboys in the postseason. But I still think that the Seahawks are a really talented team. I know their defense is going to be without Earl Thomas throughout, I think, most of the rest of the season. But they're still a very talented defense. Their offense has had its big moments, and I think that, they also have the most experience of any team in the NFC when it comes to getting in the playoffs and going to the Super Bowl. So I still think they're a very good team. And games like this happen. Yeah. And also the Seahawks, they were on the road. They were in the frozen tundra of Green Bay. It was snowing. A lot of things not going their way. Sometimes these games happen, but we'll have to wait and see just how the Seahawks will respond after this type of blowout.
Yeah, you talk about the snow, that Buffalo-Pittsburgh game, they played in the snow, and if you were in your fantasy playoffs and you had Ben Roethlisberger as your quarterback, you were not happy yesterday. I'm not in the playoffs, so it doesn't really matter, but Roethlisberger and Russell Wilson both had really rough fantasy days. But it was funny, Neil, because, again, I'm not in the playoffs, but I have Aaron Rodgers, and the guy I was playing had Russell Wilson. It just kind of worked out that way. And when I checked it kind of like around halftime, Russell Wilson had negative points. You normally don't see a quarterback with negative points because they make up the yardage, even if they throw a couple interceptions. But, dude, what did he have, 4? Was it 4 all day, or was it just the 3?
I think it was 4. I have to go back and check, but I think it was 4.
It was 6? I'm hearing it was 6, dude. I gotta check that out. It's honestly, what a mess for Russell Wilson. But at the same time, he's gotta be like, look, that never happens. That's just totally like a random thing, right? It's gotta be.
Right. I mean, like I said, these games happen.
5. It was 5, not 6.
You're as a quarterback, you're gonna have games like this. As a Giants fan, I've seen Eli Manning have games like this a lot. Even last night, he had negative points at the end in fantasy, which I had never seen him ever get negative points, but he was just that bad.
Yeah.
So these type of games happen, and you have to. But these guys are professionals; they'll be able to make some adjustments and hopefully have a better game going into next week.
That's right. Mama said there'd be days like this, Neil. Mama said it. Oh, but you know what? Let's switch gears and talk about hockey, because I want to talk about the hottest team in the National Hockey League. Your Philadelphia Flyers! 9 wins in a row, baby! The first team in the league this year to do that, Neil. Last night, overtime thriller in Detroit. It was a great game for the Flyers. What is going on with the Philadelphia Flyers, Neil?
Well, I think the biggest thing that they've been able to do is score a lot more, because if you go back to early in the season, they looked like they could not score a lot of goals, but now they're seeming to find ways to score timely goals and come up in the clutch, and their goaltending has done a lot better.
Yeah.
All in all, if you look at their whole team, they've done things better than they couldn't do early on in the season. I was talking about earlier this year that the Philadelphia Flyers' biggest problem was their defense. To me, it looks like they've gotten a lot better. I don't know exactly what they've done to fix that problem. They haven't really called up anybody. They haven't really. I think they've changed their defensive philosophy, and I think that that's really helped them. And so you got to give them a lot of credit. It's 9 wins in a row. They're all of a sudden coming right up, the Metropolitan Division. So I think the Rangers, who are in first place, should be a little worried because
2 points, baby. 2 more points.
Their rivals are coming up right behind them and coming up fast.
Yeah, they're 2 points away, Neil. I was just saying. They're 2 points behind the Rangers right now, and honestly, just a few short weeks ago, it didn't even look like the Flyers were going to be able to make any noise. Right now, this team looks like they cannot lose. I watched a few games over the weekend, 2 games. I guess they played yesterday and they played Saturday, and they just look like a completely different team. It's amazing to watch them right now. You mentioned the goaltending. Mason has been playing excellent, and then last night Stolarz played, give Mason a little bit of a break on the back-to-back, and man, kid played really good too.
Yeah, I mean, every single part of their team has been playing very, very well. And, obviously you never know how long these streaks are going to last, but the important thing is to just keep playing the way they've been playing because it's been working. And, even if they lose a game or 2, it's not a big deal. They just got to keep playing this way because whatever they're doing is working out a lot and really helping them, have a lot of success in winning these 9 games in a row.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting. Now, look, it's December. We know that hockey doesn't really get moving for the next few months, but it is fun right now, especially with the Eagles being as terrible as they are, to have a team that's fun. Now, and your Philadelphia 76ers won a game last night on the road. That's 2 road wins in a row. That hasn't happened since 2014. And look, I love this. I'm a Sixers fan. I love the Sixers, and I know that these last few years have been horrible, but coming up this week, I think our 3 big guys are going to be able to play for the first time together. That's Okafor, Nerlens Noel, and Joel Embiid are all going to be healthy and playing at the same time. So we're definitely looking forward to that as Philadelphia Sixers fans. Right, Neil?
Yeah, absolutely. I just think that, what's actually interesting, like you said, is just having those 3 big men actually playing together. We haven't seen that yet. We've never seen that since these 3 big men have arrived in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And I think if you just put in those 3 together, obviously maybe not at the same time, but everything, I think the Sixers now are continuing to get better. And I'm very impressed with how Joel Embiid has come out this year, in technically his rookie year, and has really, really given the 76ers some hope. And I think that's really, really big.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, I got a new hope for you. His name's TJ McConnell. He almost hit a triple-double yesterday. TJ McConnell, what are you doing out there, buddy? Oh, baby, that's a little Tom McGinnis for you.
That was pretty good.
Thanks, Neil. So, Neil, this was great. I want to make sure that everybody knows that they can check you out every Saturday right here on the RadioVision Network, the MVP show with Neil Villapiano. And listen, have a great rest of your day, and we're going to catch up with you later in the week. All right, Neil?
All right, but I just want to say one last quick thing. First of all, shout out to Army for beating Navy on Saturday, finally breaking the 14-year streak. They were able to finally beat Navy again.
Yeah.
And also, I hope that Keith is listening to this. I can't wait to get my cheesesteak soon. So thanks for that one.
Saturday, Neil. Saturday. Keith is here. You guys, listen, we got to let everybody in. They're making bets. They're making side sandwich bets on these football games, and Keith owes Neil a cheesesteak. So listen, hey, when you guys pay off your bets, why don't you let me know, Neil, so that maybe I can get a sandwich too? I know that that's not protocol, but maybe we can make that happen.
Sure, I'm down for it.
Awesome. All right, Neil, we'll check you out, and we'll check you out on Saturday too.
All right, thanks for having me, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Neil. Have a great day.
You too.
Make sure you look. That's Neil Villapiano. You got to check him out every Saturday right here on the RadioVision Network of the MVP show at 10 o'clock on Saturday. Check him out. We're going to take another break here on Morning Coffee. You're going to stay right there because we're going to be right back on the RadioVision Network.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to give a sub some sizzle, this is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be.